I just know that someone who was stuck at an airport and had their flights canceled 2-3 flights in a row, they're going to hate government and hate the elected officials.
They don't care what the deal is. They just want to get it open. You know, you've been making the point for a while now that this is what the Democrats should do. Many inside the Democratic Party, you know, whether it's Ro Khanna and others say this was, you can't be caving like this, and Schumer's got to go. So that's what I'm talking about when I say internal dishevel in the, you know, in the Democratic Party. So what do you say to people who say the Democrats caved here?
Well, I think they caved because they had the losing hand. You know, it was the Democrats who added on to the controversy. They took a funding crisis and tried to make it a policy issue. You know, blackmailing the Republicans into giving them an extension of the subsidies of the insurance premiums under Obamacare. The point is that you can't run a government by blackmail. I mean, maybe they do in subtle ways. You do this for me, I'll do that for you. But there's no spirit of compromise. It was an out and out power grab. Now the thing is, and the one day I faltered in my feeling about this was the election day last week, where we saw Americans, you know, in Virginia, in New Jersey, in California, in New York City, certainly, you know, going to the progressive left side, rejecting Trump. I think that's a loser. I think what Schumer is doing, the head of the minority leader in the Senate, is he's worried. He's looking over his shoulders. You know, Connell, he's primary. He'll be primaried next time, you know, when he runs next year. So I think that. You know, that's where his spine comes from. He's a ruthless pragmatist who's done a horrible job, I think, in my opinion. And I think the Democrats come out of this as embarrassed losers, even though they had a triumph at the ballot box.
Interesting. Yeah, primary, of course, could come if the rumors are right from someone like AOC, which would be quite a race here in New York. Now, in terms of bipartisan compromise and that kind of thing, I had an interesting conversation last hour. Kevin Kiley's a moderate Republican out of California, talking about these subsidies for Obamacare and whether Republicans would at least, you know, have a vote down the line, as Thune says they will in the Senate. Unclear if Johnson will in the House, but Kiley has some ideas, and here's part of what he said.
Well, we have more and more people who are coming on as co-sponsors, and I think this strikes the right balance. It's a good compromise that will give us some runway so that people don't see this sudden spike in premiums. When you have people, 22 million people, who are about to see a big increase in the cost they pay for health care, they shouldn't have to pay that price because Congress has failed to act.
So he basically, Geraldo, wants to extend them for a couple of years, but he wants to put a cap on the income. So essentially, you'd have, if you're making over 200 grand, you wouldn't get subsidized.
The point is, I like that guy. I think he's the future of maybe American politics, or successful American politics.
Well, he might get blown out by redistricting. You know, that's the issue in California.
There's also that, and I'm sure the Democrats would want to kill him because he's an effective speaker for the Republican Party in the state of California. I just think that you must have a situation where you deal. There was a temporary measure during the pandemic to subsidize the Obamacare premiums. Right. Now the pandemic is obviously over, the emergency is over, so the issue is whether or not you continue giving folks the benefit of reduced premiums. I think you have to. Health care is way too crazy expensive, but you have to understand that it is an additional burden to the budget, and I assume people want it, but let them vote on it. Now we have Thune, I think, and Johnson, the Republicans, have honored or pledged to honor the promise to have a debate and a vote on subsidizing Obamacare premiums. You know, so let the Democrats, these 8 Democrats, go along with the Republicans, open the damn government, get the air traffic controllers back, get all the other folks back at their job, get their paychecks in the mail, get all that done, and then if I understand the promise of the Republicans, take up the subsidies of the Obamacare.
That's what Thune said. Yeah. Johnson,
let's do that.
Yeah. So we'll see.
But that's fair. Fair's fair. Let's do it.
I understand it. Geraldo, thank you as always. We'll talk again. Geraldo Rivera with the Daily Take.
Thank you for watching. Subscribe below and download our NewsNation app right now on your phone, and you will get fact-based, unbiased news for all Americans.